More often than not, when we're working with containers, we don't just want a command line. We want to run services inside of these containers. Sometimes people call these container services microservices. So we could go through and use our Docker container and run. Running it detach means it carries on running in the background. We can set up our name, and we're going to call the container web, and we're basing it on an image called Nginx, a web server image. We can check its IP address. We could do this through the container inspect. If we didn't want to run it through this way, we could go through and grep the output if we found that easier. We could then connect through to the IP address. The IP address, of course, is going to be the IP address that is being used on the network interface card that our system is connected to. Of course, though, the web page that we are looking at is going to be the built-in web page. So we might create ourselves a directory to host the web page and any assets. We're just going to have a very simple asset here, just the text hello inside of our index.html page. We also, instead of relying on the IP address of our system, which is only going to be available from our host operating system, we could map a port on the host through to port 80 in our container. We could map the volume that we've created, so /home/tux/web, through to where our document root should be inside of the web server. For this Nginx web server is USR share Nginx and the HTML subdirectory. We're calling our container the same name, so it's got the name web, so just make sure the previous container has been deleted. We can then connect to our local host on the mapped port, port 8000, which is being mapped or redirected through to port 80 in our web server. So again, this is going to be really practical and really useful. And I recommend that you join me in the demonstration where we go through and actually see this all coming together.